Imagine waking up to find that one of America's most popular apps just vanished overnight. That's exactly what happened when TikTok went dark for over 170 million US users this weekend.
Let me paint the picture of how sudden this was at precisely 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Both major app stores simultaneously pulled TikTok. It was like watching a digital light switch flip off.
And you know what's fascinating? This isn't just some temporary glitch. We're witnessing the first major social media ban in US history, all because of this new law, with quite the mouthful, the Protecting Americans from a Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act.
Hmm. What's really interesting is how they're executing this ban. It's not actually criminalizing the app itself, right?
Exactly, and that's where it gets clever. Instead of making it illegal to have TikTok, they're essentially cutting off its oxygen supply. No updates, no maintenance, no new content distribution. It's like watching a digital ecosystem slowly lose its resources.
Well, that's triggered quite the response from users trying to find workarounds. I've been tracking the surge in VPN downloads since the announcement. We're talking about a 300% increase in just 48 hours.
Oh, but here's where it gets really interesting. TikTok was totally prepared for this. They've implemented this incredibly sophisticated three-layer security system that makes bypassing the ban nearly impossible.
So, what makes the security system so special?
Well, first they're checking IP addresses, then they're scanning SIM card country codes. And here's the clever part, they've completely disabled all US built versions of the app, regardless of where you're trying to access it from. It's like they've created a digital force field around American users.
Though some tech savvy users are claiming they've found temporary solutions using combinations of VPNs and foreign SIM cards.
You know what's concerning about that? Many of these workarounds involve using free VPN services, which, let me tell you, is like handing your house keys to a stranger. These services are often collecting and selling user data to third parties.
Speaking of data, the numbers behind TikTok's US presence are staggering. We're talking about an estimated $14.7 billion in revenue last year alone from US operations.
That's right, and it's not just about entertainment anymore. Over 5 million American businesses were using TikTok for marketing before the ban. Think about that impact. We're essentially watching an entire digital economy get frozen in real time.
And let's not forget about the creator economy. Some top TikTok influencers were earning upwards of $500,000 per sponsored post.
That's precisely why this isn't just about losing a social media app, it's about disrupting an entire digital ecosystem that's become deeply embedded in our economy and culture. Before this ban, Americans were spending an average of 95 minutes per day on TikTok.
Well, that time spent is exactly what made TikTok's algorithm so powerful it had billions of data points to learn from.
And that's what makes this situation so unique. We're not just losing an app, we're losing what many consider to be the most sophisticated content recommendation system ever created. The algorithm was processing over 1 billion video views per day in the US alone.
Though, interestingly enough, some analysts are suggesting this ban might actually spark innovation in the American tech sector.
That's a fascinating point. We're already seeing US based companies rushing to fill the void. Instagram Reels reported a 150% increase in creator uploads just in the first 24 hours after the ban.
So, what do you think this means for the future of social media regulation?
Well, this is likely just the beginning. We're watching governments realize they can effectively regulate these massive digital platforms. But here's what's really worth watching, how this might reshape the entire concept of digital sovereignty.
And in the meantime, millions of Americans are essentially locked out of their digital community.
Exactly. And while President Trump has hinted at a possible resolution, we're really in uncharted territory here. The implications for international tech policy, digital rights, and global commerce are going to be felt for years to come.
So, I guess the big question is, will this become the new normal for regulating tech platforms?
That's what everyone's watching for. But one thing's certain, this ban has shown just how deeply integrated social media has become in our lives, our economy, and our culture. And that's something we can't simply switch off without consequences.